Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. Got a question here from Nicholas Astariega Latassa. I hope I'm saying that right. Probably not, but I apologize if that's the case, Nicholas. Nicholas writes in, he says, "Hey Matt, I hope you can help me. I'm studying my last year of higher vocational qualification of photography, 2 years. Since 3 years ago, I've been shooting with my Canon EOS 1100D, but now I start feeling that I need to upgrade my body and gear. After finishing this year, I will be starting another course focused on video or cinema. That's why I need a camera with a good performance on both fields. Not only for that, but also to keep improving my own creations. As I'm a Canon user, I would prefer staying in this brand due to I can't waste too much money because next year I will move to the capital of my country, Madrid, Spain, to study. Going to the point, I've always thought Canon 60 would be a nice choice, but since the Canon 80D appeared, I'm not sure what I should buy. The full-frame camera with a nice ISO performance in low-light situation, or the Canon 80D with all the nice video features. I believe full-frame is worth it, but in my situation, I can't afford it. If I decided to leave Canon, which similar bodies would you recommend me? Thank you." Well, Nicholas, this is a bit of a tough question because normally I would say, if you're heavily invested in lenses, stay within your current brand as long as there's an option that works for you. But you want to do video and photography. So the 6D kind of falls down there. I would hardly recommend the 6D if you're a photographer just saying to me, I want a good portrait body or a good wedding camera for just photos, just want to use it for photos. But because you're wanting to do, a healthy dose of video, the 80D is going to be better for you there because the 80D has the most current Canon APS-C sensor. It's almost on par. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It's getting close. It's very good. It's their best sensor yet. Not quite on par with the best from Sony and Nikon, but still very good. I wouldn't hesitate to recommend it. I like the camera. And good 24 megapixels. They finally caught up on the resolution front. Very good performing camera. Very good performing in video with the caveat that it's missing 4K. So that's a bit of a drag. If you think you're going to be heavily into video, what I might recommend you do is get a Panasonic G7. Excellent video camera. 4K. Very, very nice. Very well featured. They can be had on Amazon.com right now for around $500. I think they're as low as $450 with gift cards and things included. So very, very good pricing. That's with a kit lens. And then you could add, if you wanted another camera for photography, you could choose whichever camera you wanted for photography, whether that's, you might even like a used original 5D to get a full frame body for a few $100. That might be a good route to go. Now, if you're not really feeling you need 4K, and I think anybody that's getting into video heavily nowadays and taking courses in it, I think you're going to need 4K. So that's why I'm recommending the G7. I think it's the best bang for the buck, best value out there right now. And the G7 is also more than capable of doing your photography needs. The Micro Four Thirds sensors have come along a long way, and I've shot them in all sorts of situations, professional, personal, just for my own work and for professional work, for photography as well as video. So don't worry about that. If you do want full frame, it's also the best route because you can, as I said, you can get a used full frame body with a lens or two that you think is what you're going to want to shoot the full frame with, and then go with the G7 for video because it's so economically priced. If you're really, really strapped for cash, then just get the G7 and a couple nice lenses to go with it. If you can afford it, get the 12 to 35 f2.8. It's amazing. If you can't, get a couple of really nice primes. The beauty of the G7 and the Micro Four Thirds system is any old nice primes from any system pretty much will fit with it for manual focus with adapters. Alternately, if you want the best of the best for lenses on it, you get the 12 to 35 f2.8 from Panasonic. You pair it up with the Panasonic 42.5 f1.7, which is beautiful and very reasonably priced. You got a great setup. Anyways, what do you guys think? Do you agree with me on which way to go here? help Nicholas out. Let's help him think out his purchase here, what he's going to need for school and for his own creative endeavors. Leave your comments below. Let's hear what you got to say. Which way would you go and why? Thanks for your question, Nicholas. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon here at artoftheimage.com. Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. Got a great question in, actually not a great question, a great user review, mini review, user feedback, user experience on the Canon 6D, the EOS 6D. You know, the one we're all eagerly and awaiting, anticipating, the 6D Mark II. Well, this is the 6D. This is Lee Hargraves writing in. I think I said that last name rightly. He says, I had the same dilemma. This is a comment on one of the previous 6D videos I'd done on which one to buy. He says, I had the same dilemma, and after much consideration and flirting with the 5D Mark III, I got a used 6D. I already had the 85mm f1.8 on my crop camera. Okay, here's the important verdict. Get the 6D. Read on if you want to know why. I don't want to get into a discussion about vari-angle screens and dual pixels. Video is a small part of my photography. I don't want to get into a discussion about 65 autofocus points. I only ever use the center one. Here's my experience with my first day of ownership of the 6D. I went to my parents' house with my new toy, the 6D. I took a photo of my mother as she sat in a dark kitchen. Number one, it focuses amazingly well in low light. This is often overlooked by people when they say it only has 11 autofocus points. Give me one superb center point and I'm happy. I want to put one point on the eye. I don't need 65 or whatever. The quality of the image taken in, and this is point two, he says number two, the quality of the image taken in poor light with the 6D and the 85 f1.8 is, in my opinion, stunning. No other words for it. No noise, creamy smooth, superb bokeh. It was worth buying just to get the photo of my mother. I can't wait to get it into some nice light. For video, I'd get the 80D, no question. For the finest quality still images, I'd get the 6D. I shoot portraits and low light capability is more important to me than video. With the 6D, you can leave it set to auto ISO, set an upper limit of 3200 or even 6400, and you'll get clean, beautiful images. No need to worry about moving beyond ISO 400. I also have a Canon 24-105 f4L. It's just about perfect as a walkabout lens for events. So, some great feedback from Lee here. And I would totally agree with him. I've basically given this advice when asked the question about what to buy, 6D and the 80D or the 6D and other things. If you're looking at it as a photography camera, especially for portraits or wedding work, great camera. Heartily recommend it. I just wouldn't get it for video. And Lee's loving it as a photography camera. And interestingly enough, he's saying how amazed he is with the low light focus. And I tend to mirror Lee's thinking here. I'd rather have a very strong center point that's very good in low light. And I mean, I'm a center point shooter almost all the time. So having a ton of autofocus points is really not a big deal for me. I just want to know that my main focus point focuses really well in low light, which Lee's saying his does well. He's very happy with it. So I'm glad you're happy with that, Lee. Thanks for the feedback. What do you guys think? Do any of you guys have the 6D? Does your experience mirror Lee's? Do any of you have a contrasting experience where you're not as happy with the 6D? Do you agree that the 6D is the way to go for photography? Are some of you liking it for video? Leave your comments below. Let's discuss the 6D a bit. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of Lee's review here. A little user review, feedback, user experience. Thanks again, Lee. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon here at artoftheimage.com. Thanks.